It just reminds me of, you know, the good old YouTube days before all this shitstorm the past couple weeks. Alright, so today it's August Raves and Rejects. This is where we talk about hell yeah kind of products and also products that were super shitty. So these are from the last month or two. I didn't do one last month, so, you know, however long combined. But let's just get into it. If you enjoy Raves and Rejects, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. I have a playlist down below if you want to go see what I was like in the past months. Alright, so it's been like the month of base product discoveries, whether it's primer, setting spray, foundation, powder. But the standout product, which I've talked about a ton lately because it's that good, is the Catrice Illuminating Prime and Fine Dewy Glow Setting Spray. Ever since I first used this in, I want to say it was a Shadow and Schmooze or First Impressions video, I have not put this thing down. I've gone through half this little bottle. This is super affordable. You can get it from Ulta. You don't get a whole lot of product in here, so that's obviously a downside. But this is hands down the most beautiful, my favorite dewy setting spray I've found so far. And you guys know how I feel about my Too Faced 3-in-1. That one is super beautiful to give you glow too. This tops it. I'm a setting spray fanatic. I literally probably have 30 or 40 setting sprays. This is by far the best glow setting spray I've found. Not only for giving your skin a glow, but for really melting and transforming the products underneath the setting spray. Whether it's powder, which we'll talk about, whether it's liquid foundation, a matte foundation that you want to make glowy, this literally can transform any product I've put it on top of so far. It really does just give you that kind of like glassy skin that's super popular right now. So next for the month is a powder foundation. Now this is only a Rave in combination with this setting spray. So keep that in mind. If you're gonna purchase the powder I'm gonna talk about, spend the extra $5 or whatever and purchase the setting spray. It's worth it to use those two together. This is the new JCat Aquassurance Powder Foundation. This is the first powder foundation, let me think. I like the Cosmetics Celebration Foundation Illumination, but it hasn't been like amazing on its own for me. I think this is the first true powder foundation that gives me the kind of coverage I like, that looks beautiful on my skin, that just like melts in and almost turns a little bit glowy over time. Does not look like a powder sitting on top of your skin at all. I either just posted on Friday or it's coming, my powder foundation routine. When you use the Catrice setting spray on top of this powder, magic happens. It literally transforms your skin. It does not look like you have a powder on. You have this beautiful like dewy finish face, but all you have on is powder. This literally darkens about 3 shades, so I can only wear this when I have self-tanner on. I was wearing self-tanner a lot when I was in San Diego, and just over this last month, I actually have a self-tanner favorite for you guys. So JCat, please come out with more shades of this. Make some that are actually light, please. All right, so next up, I did a review video on this, and I've talked about this a lot recently too, but this is the Tatcha Silk Canvas Primer. And this is one of those products that I just feel like had been so hyped up that I really wasn't expecting to like this as much as I do. I feel like that's usually what happens with like super hyped up products on YouTube, is that it just doesn't work the same for my skin. Not saying that everyone else is wrong or whatever, but we all just have different experiences with products. And a lot of the times, especially face products that work for other people, I find just don't work for my skin. So this product just totally shocked me how much I fell in love with this. You can see the difference. I did a half face test, so if you want to see how this actually works, watch that video. I compared it to a NYX primer. You can see the difference throughout the day, how the foundation wore. And I reach for this almost every time I do my makeup now. I do feel like it adds a little bit of coverage. I don't put it on my forehead because it does mattify a little bit. I like to focus it where I usually get creasing around my mouth area and upper lip. And then also I bring it on my cheek areas and everything, and also underneath my eye, because it does help to blend my concealer into the powders and everything. My other holy grail primer is drugstore. So if you need a drugstore option, the Revlon Pore Adducing Primer is great. But that one really is more of like a blurring, pore filling primer. This is more of a make your makeup overall look better and last longer kind of primer, so I would still use them for different reasons. I can tell I'm gonna get a workout changing the camera settings every 10 minutes in this lighting. So this, I'm not sure how this product is intended to be used. I don't know if it's supposed to be a highlighter. I don't know if it's supposed to be an all over powder. But this is the Laura Mercier Candle Glow Sheer Perfecting Powder in the shade 1. And the way that I use this is as an all over like face dusting kind of powder, finishing powder to give a super, super slight glow. It's almost like the Hourglass Ambient, the first powders that they came out with, there's the ambient lighting powders, I think they're called, that just give your skin this like very subtle glow if you use it with a big fluffy brush all over. So that's kind of how I apply this. I have it on my face right now. So if I have a foundation where I feel like I need to set it, or if it just feels too sticky or tacky, but I don't want to take away the glow and I don't want to mattify my face, I have been reaching for this. The foundation I'm wearing right now is the Misha Magic M Cushion Foundation. And over top of that, to set my entire face, I just press this into the skin using this brush. This is a BH Cosmetics brush. I think it was in a set probably, but it was number 1. It has a nice amount of firmness, and I just press this into my skin and it gives my skin a glow without looking like, you know, I have a powder on and without looking like I have highlighter on my face or anything. This is one of those products though that the brush is really important. You can get a totally different effect and it can almost be a little bit overpowering if you use something like this, which is what I usually use for powder, my Furless CB4 brush, which I don't think they make anymore. But if you use something like super dense like this, it can be too intense. And then you can also use like a highlighting brush and use it just as a super subtle face highlighter on your cheekbones as well. It looks kind of dark in the pan, but when it's on your face, it's so sheer that you can't really see a color at all. I have some more face products, but we're gonna take a break for a second and talk about eyeshadows. I have these eyeshadows on my eyes right now. It's all I have on my eyes, and this is the JCat Extreme Access Pocket Shadow Palettes. I have 2 here. They make a really bright one that I haven't tried yet, but these 2 I love. This one is in Red Carpet Premiere, and then the other one is Walk of Stardom. Walk of Stardom is the palette that I have on my eyes right now. I love the like mustardy yellow shade in here. The mattes in both of these palettes are beautiful. The shimmers are a little bit hit or miss. I was debating including these in this video solely for that reason, because I don't want you to buy this palette and think like every shade is fantastic, because that's not the case. There are definitely a couple shades that could be better, just the shimmers. But then some of the shimmers are like super pigmented and fine. This is the one I have on my lid right now. Some of them are like this gold formula where they're almost like squishy and a little bit dry. You have to really work with these to get kind of payoff with some of the shimmers, but then the other ones are like a totally different formula and they're super pigmented and nice. So the shimmers in here are really hit or miss. But I've been using the matte shades in here a ton just for like kind of everyday makeup, and I especially like this shade for everyday makeup. It's a really nice transition shade on my skin tone. I think these are around $8 each, so even though there are like 1 or 2 misses in each of these palettes as far as the shimmer shades, I still feel like it's worth it because the matte shades are beautiful, and you have some shades that you don't typically find in drugstore palettes, like the more mustard shades. All right, so just it being summer and not really wanting to wear like full-on makeup every day, I've been doing a lot of no makeup kind of looks where I basically have just been using like cream products on my skin. And this I discovered in the cheapest products at Sephora video, and I've been using it ever since. It's the Sephora I Love Cushion Bronzer. The shade I have is 02 Medium Tan, but I find that this can work whether I have a self tanner on or my skin is this tone, my natural tone. I just wanted to make sure that this was still sold on Sephora because it is limited edition, and it's on sale for $7 right now when I'm filming this. So it comes in a cushion compact, and I was terrified when I first looked at the shade because I thought it was going to be a disaster, but this just so easily blends into your skin. The way I apply it is just stamp it on with the cushion where I want it on my forehead. I've been using it, and on my cheeks, and then just blend it out with a brush, or you can just use your fingers or just use the cushion. You can blend it out. It shears out really nicely to where it just gives you this super natural hint of color. It doesn't look too orangey. It has a little bit of a sheen to it. If you've been looking for something like this, just a super natural cream bronzer, this is awesome, and right now it's $7. Next up is the blush I'm wearing right now, and this one has kind of just like creeped. You know when you say words so many times in your head that you just can't figure out which one it is now? This has creeped up on me. Yeah, that sounds right. As a favorite. I initially liked it, but I initially wasn't in love with it until I found myself reaching for it over and over again, and I kind of just realized I must actually really like this. This is the Lily Lolo Tickled Pink Blush. So I actually found this when I did the green beauty products video. This is a clean makeup product, which is a bonus. I'm wearing it right now. The thing I like about this is that it can literally work whether I have the tanner on, whether I don't. It can work with full-on dramatic looks like this or super natural. It has a very subtle glow to it. That's my highlighter you're seeing right there, but it has a subtle glow to it. But when I just want a super natural looking blush where I just want my cheeks to have a little flesh to them and a little bit of color, but I don't want it to be too much, I go for this. You can build it up, so let's just do that. Just gonna add a little bit on. This was the only blush I brought with me to San Diego. The smell is interesting, but again, they don't put any like, you know, artificial fragrance or anything in. This one is actually another kind of one of those products. This is the Smashbox Spotlight Palette in Pearl. This was originally a collaboration with Casey Holmes. I think now they made it like a permanent item in their line, so they changed the packaging, but this shade, holy shitsies. I've been reaching for this almost every single day the last probably like month and a half at least. I've just re-fallen in love with this. And I think on top of the Tatcha primer or something, whether it's with the Catrice setting spray or on top of the Tatcha primer, something lately it's been looking like extra good and just super smooth. It doesn't emphasize my texture, but it still gives me a glow there. I love it as a nose highlight, and I also love this on my eyes. I love it on my inner corner and also just smoothed over my eyelids. I talked about this also in the Sephora recommendations video, so not gonna go super in depth about it, but awesome highlight if you're looking for something that has a major pop and you can get a super intense highlight but doesn't emphasize your texture. I can already tell this video is going to be a bitch to edit because of the lighting changing every 2 seconds. But next up we have a shampoo and conditioner favorite. Oh my gosh. This is the Pureology Hydrate line, and it says for dry color treated hair. Has no sulfate in it, and also has 100% vegan ingredients. I usually cannot stand high-end shampoos because I don't find that they lather at all. This is not one that does that. This fully lathers. It feels like you get a really nice hydrating, like, you know, you get a good lather going. This makes my hair super soft. It makes my hair feel hydrated. It actually does. But the thing that just really gets me is the scent. It smells like the best rosemary mint smelling spa-like shampoo conditioner you've ever smelled, and that scent stays in your hair too. It lingers for like a day or two. The other thing I really like is that it gives you this cooling sensation on your scalp, especially the shampoo. So it not only smells like super minty, but you actually get that cooling sensation going, which I love. I love that feeling. So these I've been really into. You can get them on Ulta. I actually got them on Hot Look for like half price, but Ulta you can get good deals on high-end shampoos too. I think they actually just did their like leader sale or something. But if you're looking for a good high-end shampoo and conditioner that actually do something and that lather and that are worth it, here you go. My kind of go-to nude lip combo lately has been the AOA Studio Wonder Matte Liquid Lipstick in the shade Fleek. I discovered this in my $1 makeup video. This is $1 from Shop Miss A. And it's not that the formula of this or anything is like super extraordinary. It's just like a matte lipstick. It kind of feels like the ColourPop ones, but the shade is beautiful. I love the shade, and I love layering it with this liquid lipstick. This is the BH Cosmetics Liquid Linen in the shade, not Martha. Natalie. Martha's also a good one. Martha's a little bit more pinky. Natalie is more cool toned. It's what I have on my lips right now. So first I went in with this one, and then I just layered the BH one over top, and it just gives me like the perfect toned lip where it's not too cool, not too warm, not too light, not too dark. And I also have on a little bit of the Anastasia gloss in the shade Butterscotch over top. All right, so we need to talk about self-tanner. So I have embraced the pale skin for years now. I haven't even really religiously worn self-tanner in a long time. I didn't really last summer. I wore the Loving Tan Medium a few times, but I wasn't wearing it for like weeks and weeks. So it's been a while since I really have like worn a self-tanner. I don't know what it was about this last month. I was just like feeling the tanner. And also just play around with makeup when I had a tan on. It does give you like a totally different look. I love my skin tone as it is, and I still fully embrace it, but it's just fun to switch it up sometimes. So this is what I've been using. So if I want something deeper than my Tan Luxe Gradual Self Tanner, which I talked about in the Sephora video, that one I love for just like quick everyday, you know, a little bit of color on my legs or whatever. If I want an actual tanner, like if I want a full-on self-tan going, I have been friggin' loving the color and the way that these go on and the formula of this. This is the Saint Tropez Self-Tan Express, and then the Bronzing Mist. This is a 1 hour tanner. This one is 1 to 3 hours depending on how deep you want it. This I'm actually like almost out of. It sounds like it's like down to here. But this is super nice because you put it on right when you wake up and then just wash it off in the shower. This I only use for parts of my body on top of this. So I have this weird thing with my legs. Let me know if any of you guys get this, where on my shins, for whatever reason, self-tanner does not want to stay there. So whenever I tan my legs, I'll have this like lighter patch just on my shins. I've tried putting more product on there. I've tried like extra exfoliating there. This is great because I can just give my shins an extra spray, and also my chest. For some reason, sometimes on my chest, it doesn't get as tan as the rest of my body. So I'll just go in with this and then spray this on those two areas. This I just use one of those tanning gloves with, and the extra awesome thing about this is that if you don't have time to shave, if you get razor burn and you can't shave 2 days in a row, whatever it is, this doesn't streak if you don't do those things. It looks better if you do that, but you're not gonna have like a hot mess of a tan if you don't do that. In San Diego, we were going in like the beach and pool every day, so I was applying this kind of every day. I would like skip a day or two, and it didn't look weird layered. I wasn't getting like patchy anywhere. When it wore off, I didn't get the gross patchy self-tanner parts. Like I didn't have to scrub anywhere as it was wearing off. The color is beautiful. It doesn't look orangey. I was getting compliments on my tan when I was in San Diego. It dries down too, so that's the other nice thing. If you want to put this on and get dressed, go run errands or something, and then come back and shower and wash it off, you don't feel like super sticky tanner. It's just overall a really awesome tanner. Whether you want something light, leave it on for an hour. If you want it a little bit darker, leave it on for a few hours. I've also slept in this and it was totally fine, so you're not gonna like turn 20 shades darker if you sleep in it and then shower. I can tell it's gonna be a long video. All right, and then my last super quick rave mention, my NYX Jumbo Eye Pencil in Milk. I've been really into the white waterline again lately. If you saw my Summer Glam, I think it was the Summer Glam makeup video, I used this on my waterline, and I've been really liking using this there, but then putting just a single line, like using a liner brush, a brown eyeshadow on the lower lash line without blending out. Those two together just like really open up your eyes and make them pop. This was like an OG YouTube product that everyone used to talk about. Most people used to use it as like an eyeshadow base, and then it just kind of fell off planet Earth, but I still really love this thing, and it's a couple bucks. It just reminds me of, you know, the good old YouTube days before all this shit storm the past couple weeks. So those are all my raves. Let's move into the rejects. It Cosmetics Bye Pores Illumination Powder. And you guys saw me use this in Shadow and Schmooze or First Impressions, and I was so freaking excited for this because I love the Bye Pores powder, the matte version, when I had oily skin. That is such a beautiful pore blurring product. This one I just did not find to be radiant. It was not illuminating in the slightest, so I just don't understand it. I also felt like it just didn't give me the same kind of effect that the black one did. So this I would just totally pass on. If you want a pore blurring powder, get the black version of this. This isn't illuminating at all, so I'm confused. And I love the It Cosmetics Celebration Foundation Illumination, so I had high hopes for this one. I'm actually really excited to talk about this, the Too Faced Born This Way Multi-Use Sculpting Concealer, because I was gonna do a full-on review video talking about this, and then I mentioned in multiple videos that I didn't like it, and I tweeted you guys saying, do you still want a full review even though you know exactly what I think of this already, that I don't like it, or do you want me to just like mention it in another video and talk about it? And consensus said just mention it in another video. It says super coverage. I don't get like full coverage with this. I cannot find a shade that works for me for the life of me. The lightest shades aren't super light, and they're also super yellow. They don't have a neutral or pink undertone foundation concealer at all. All of the undertones of the lightest shades are extremely yellow. So if you have a yellow undertone, that's great news for you, but for myself, it just doesn't work. The shade doesn't work at all. It looks like very off. Just one of those products that some people, it sounds like it's working really well for. On myself, it just emphasized my creasing. Been trying this since it launched now, so a couple months ago. Just can't get it to work. All right, and then my last reject is the ColourPop No Filter Sheer Pressed Powder. This was just like such a blah powder to me. It feels and looks like one of those powders that you try from like Dollar Tree, and I don't mean that in a dollar makeup is bad kind of way, because I just included a favorite that was $1. I have a lot of products that I like that are super affordable, and you just never know. Sometimes there can be total gems, but this just reminds me of like every powder I've tried from the Dollar Tree. There's something about it that it just looks so patchy, and like something's a little bit off. I don't think it's just my skin being dry with this one. It's that it just looks off. There's something with the formula of this that, I don't know, just instantly turns your skin dry. Even like on my finger right now, it starts off feeling super soft, and then it like instantly just gets super dry and like, ugh. It also is one of those powders that just totally took away the coverage of my foundation underneath too. So overall, just wasn't a fan of this one. All right, that felt like it was a long video. Hopefully this wasn't like 45 minutes long, but it might be. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, you can give it a thumbs up. I appreciate it. Let me know down below in the comments what your favorite products were from last month. I do read every single comment, and I buy a lot of things based off of your guys' recommendations. So if a bunch of you say something is good, I'm gonna go out and buy it. If there are any products that you agree, disagree, everyone has different opinions, it's all good. We can all coexist with our different opinions on makeup, you know, as shocking as that is. But I love you guys. Thanks for watching. See you in my next video. Bye. And the sun is coming back.